carry waka go buy your new MTN SIM. Make you begin enjoy nyafo nyafo.
So, what did you do when you got your first bike?
I rode it to all my friends' houses in one day.
When you got your first sunglasses?
Whoa, I was so excited I wore it even at night.
And your first wristwatch?
Awesome! I swam with it and wore it to sleep every night for 7 good days.
And now that you're in secondary school, what will you do when you get your first smartphone?
Yay! The whole world will hear me scream.
This season, surprise your child with an MTN smartphone for as low as 13,000 naira with a 3-month data bonus offer. Available at all designated MTN stores nationwide.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Dissecting the major news stories daily. This is the Morning Digest with Jimi Disu.
Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Digest with Jimi Disu on Lagos Stocks 91.3 FM. Today is Thursday, and I promised you that Mrs. Dara Oshodi would be in the building, and she's going to talk specifically at some point about waste management and how best to handle it in this state of ours. Morning. Let me quickly add that Dara is my childhood friend. We grew up in the same neighborhood. Morning, Dara. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you.
Now, I know you're a member of some waste management organization. I don't know what it is.
Yes, I'm a member of the International Solid Waste Association Working Group on waste prevention, minimization, and recycling. Mm-hmm. And I'm also a member of the Solid Waste Association of North America Collection and Transportation Technical Committee, and CEM Communication, Education, and Marketing Technical Committee.
Oh, okay. And you're also a PSP operator?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, she's not here alone. She's here with her husband, who I hadn't seen for... Mr. Oshodi, I haven't seen you now for close to 10 years?
Over 10 years.
Yeah, I think we met at some ceremony at St. Gregory's College. I think it was a social function. Anyway, I haven't seen you for about 10 years. Oh. It's nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
Are you still a banker? I knew you used to be a banker back in the day.
No, I'm out of the banking industry for now.
Oh, okay. When you say for now, you're going to go back to... Maybe you're going to own a bank.
No, I'm a retired banker.
I know. It's nice to have you in the studio. You. So, I mean, you'll join our discussion, from time to time. Okay, now, before we talk about waste management, you know what is boiling? Most of you must have heard me this morning, and I'm talking now about the reply, the federal government response to Obasanjo's statement. Now, I like. There's one thing I like about that statement. It's matured, it's measured, and it will let peace reign. They were quite. They put up the argument, and when I say they, and I'm talking about the government through Lai Mohammed, put up the arguments, and they believe that they've had quite some achievements. Let me read the highlights of some of the achievements for you. I'm reading from The Nation now, and they say that the foreign reserves have gone up to $40 billion from $24 billion, which is the highest that we've had in 4 years. Okay, and they say inflation has been down for 11 months, and 24.7 billion is saved monthly with the TSA monthly. So if you have a calculator, you multiply it by 12. Mm-hmm. That's how much they're saving with the TSA. This is 24.7 billion that would have gone straight directly into the cookie jar. So they claim to have saved that monthly. And they said they had $1.8 billion capital inflows in quarter 2 alone of 2017. $1.8 billion capital inflows. And they regard the Nigerian stock market as one of the best performing in the world with 40% returns on investment, ROI. Okay, and you want to say something, Mr. Shudi?
No, go ahead. I'm
listening
to the reeling of the statistics.
Oh, okay. Well, it's their statistics. And so rice imports have dropped from 644,000 metric tons to 22,000 metric tons in 2 years. 5.2 million primary school pupils are being fed free in 28,249 schools in 19 states. 200,000 graduates in Empower Job Scheme, and power generation, they claim, is at 7,000 megawatts. I'm sure Kelvin is listening and is bringing out his calculator. I can just imagine what he's up to now. He'll pack all the twins to go to the backyard so that he can study this thing well. Lagos, like Kelvin is one of our regular listeners. Okay. You soon hear him contribute. When he comes on, you say, I'm sure you say, okay, that must be the person. Lagos Kano Standard Gauge is ready 2019. 25 major highways funded with the 100 billion Sukuk bond. Now, he reeled out a lot of statistics. He also acknowledged impliedly. He acknowledged impliedly that yes, that there are some other things that Obasanjo mentioned. I think that has to do with the nepotism side of it. That they said, okay, they'll take the criticism in good faith and will work on their faults. But that generally they think that the government of Buhari has been successful. Now, my take on this is this, and I don't think it's something that I believe we should dwell too much on. We have brought out a yellow card for this government. It's left to them if they want to bring in a few new players and see if they can repackage the team. If they can't, well, they will meet us at the election, and then that is when the Nigerians will then decide what they want to make of all this. Okay, so I don't think it calls for that much. I don't think it calls for that much argument. But let me hear what you have to say about this before we then delve into the issue of waste management. Our numbers are still the same. 0809-1913-913, 0809-222-0913, 0809-234-5913, 01236-7913, 012802913 and 012803913. Now, the Twitter handle is at Lagos Talks 913, and please add at Jimi Disu so I can look at it on my device, and I'll have a whole barrage of callers here now. Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, who's calling?
My name is Kade. I'm calling from Australia.
Kade Magaji, how are you?
Fine.
Your party has been given a yellow card at the center.
Yeah. Good morning to your visitors.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kayode Mogajio, Uncle Akin, and
oh my God.
You know who's speaking, right?
Yes.
How you doing, Auntie?
We're good.
Yeah. Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
It's cool. You see, we are very smart in my family, so I'm expecting something from them.
We're all the same family now.
Yeah.
Okay, go on quickly. Yes.
Yeah. Uncle Jimmy, the devil is always in the details. It's easy to bring out statistics. Statistics are like bikini. They show a lot, but actually cover the most important parts. That's what we actually play with. They stylishly, or like Mohammed stylishly left out the tiers, if I'm allowed to use that phrase, of all the things Obasanjo spoke about, which is the nepotism. And I've tried to run away from that too, because it's a very, very sensitive
It is. It is.
It's very, very sensitive. But the thing is, how long are we going to run? Apparently, we've been running instead of us to actually face things head on. And I am going to blame a lot of leaders for this. Because everything, what are the youth going to do? Yeah. But the leaders, our leaders have been acting like ostriches, keeping it like actually hiding their head in the sand, and all the other parts of the body keeps getting shown. You know, communication is actually the biggest problem, and one of the things that can actually make or break a nation right now.
Yes.
Like I say, the art of communication is actually the language of leadership. There are some people that have actually been spreading sort of information that would actually destroy Nigeria.
Yes.
And we've been running from it. We keep saying, no, let's not say anything about it. They've been using words like ethnic cleansing and all. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to
I know.
names so as not to get it. But we need to actually come out and put them. But Obasanjo, I put him in that bracket too. He's a very brilliant politician. He comes out a year to election. He looks at what everybody has been talking about, and he puts out 10 points. But you know what? Well, as we're not supposed to take what he's saying with a pinch of salt, but the issue is that at times you have to look at the messenger, because once the messenger keeps putting out things that we all validate, even though every other person has been talking about it, then the youth coming up will start looking at things that, okay, who is this? Then some sort of mentorship begins. And when you look at its antecedents, especially even within this same political realm, which especially this...
Hello?
Let me quickly round up. Especially within this political force realm, which he started, what structures did he put on ground? He's talking about someone not going for the second term, but can you remember, well, people call it speculation, what happened about the old third term, things and all. And that's where the money politics actually started, which actually bred the corruption that we are actually living in now.
Okay.
Yes, so all the other leaders, please speak. Let's not wait for an Obasanjo to actually be the GPRS to our thought
okay, all right, thank you. Well, leaders, Mr. Shodi, a senior citizen of Nigeria. So, I like. Did you read Obasanjo's statement?
Yes, I did.
What occurred to you when you read that statement?
I think he hinted on the major problems or issues that are really on. You know, that are troubling the nation at this point in time. Is very much on point, except that, and I've read the response by the Minister of Information.
Information, yes.
And I think is the usual, more of disinformation than the information that they're supposed to provide.
I see.
In the sense that they are always blaming the past activities of other administrations. I would have thought they should have been talking about what they have achieved.
But that's what I just reeled out. So, 10 of the points.
Yeah, but
plus,
the earlier part of the response was blaming Obasanjo for his first term of office or in office.
I don't get a sense of that.
He did.
Okay. Because if I what I thought was
the past administration had been good enough, there would have been no cause for change.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that's my take on that.
That's your take on that. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. But in all, luckily you've seen it all right from independence.
Yes.
I mean, so in what direction do you think this country is headed with all this?
The problem is leadership, period.
Mm-hmm.
The problem of this country is leadership.
Across the
board. And there is this other thing I've noticed, the official arrogance of position. In other words, they don't seem to listen. They have their own package they bring on board, and anything outside of that,
is of no concern to them.
Of no concern to them.
Okay.
Whichever way it
okay.
goes.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Oh, I missed it. Okay, I think I got another one. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Dambaba. I'm calling from Iko.
Dambaba, how are you?
Fine, sir. I greet your guest.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's hear you now.
In as much as I agree with Obasanjo a little bit, I think Nigerians should be aware of some political manipulator who take advantage of the failure of current leadership to impose some people on us. Because I strongly believe that people like Obasanjo impose Buhari on Nigeria. Based on his influence back then, I was taken away by Obasanjo's influence, honestly speaking. But reacting to Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Uncle Jumi, he said that they have been saving 25 billion naira or so to the TSA or whatever.
Yes.
Uncle Jumi, I want to ask you a question. Why do you save money? I think for the sake of you and your family and for the sake of emergency. If you are saving 25 billion naira every month, and the Nigerian people cannot even eat, people are committing suicide. Are you saying that you are saving money? I mean, I don't get that. I'm talking about 19 states have benefited from the kid pupils program or whatever in school. Which of the 19 states? Is it Lagos that the children can't even have a chair to sit and read? And they sat on the window to read, to study. See that the children have benefit. Is it by cooking noodles and give some pupils in the village? I don't understand the success that these people are trying to claim. Instead of these people to take everything in the good faith like they say and correct themselves, Alhaji Lai Mohammed is defending the Buhari government. Look at what Obasanjo said. They accused Buhari of nepotism, which we are not allowed to see on air, based on I said that you are inciting the public or insulting, or you want to divide Nigeria. And Obasanjo accused Buhari of disunity and inefficiency, slow of taking action, and slow in knowledge.
Yeah.
I read it myself.
Okay,
Buhari, to me, is guilty of all these things. Why can't these people be sincere enough to advise President Buhari? Why these are people in government are so selfish? Why can't they tell the president the truth of what is happening to Nigeria? If the president is busy to the extent that he don't know what is happening to the average of Nigeria, like Jambaba, who live in the street today, why can't people like Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who relates with us on social media, on radio, television, tell President Buhari the honest truth? Uncle Jumi, are we not divided by President Buhari appointee? Look at the head of security. They are all from the north, honestly speaking.
Yeah, almost virtually from one area. Okay, Dambaba.
I'm not part of this thing. I want to resign.
Yes.
Why can't these people sacrifice for the people of Nigeria?
Okay, Dambaba, thank you.
To resign for one of the ministry because of his credibility.
Okay, thank you. We usually just give a minute because I'm going to allow a lot of people call in. But I need to make some things clear. I'm not holding brief for anybody. When the government claims that they are saving money, it doesn't mean that they are taking the money and saving it. What they are saying is that these are the monies that would otherwise have been stolen. So they can now apply these monies to what they are budgeted for. In the past, you find that the implementation of the budget has been absolutely dismal because almost half of the money finds its way into private pockets. So when they say they are saving money, it doesn't mean that they've opened a savings account to put the money in. What it just means is that this is monies that otherwise would have been stolen. And I think it's clear to everybody that since the government insisted that all monies go to the central bank, all the games that the banks, we do apologies, Mr. Shedi, I know you're a banker, but all the games that the banks have been playing with the government officials with the money will be brought to a minimum as the games will still go on. I can assure you not all the money goes through TSA. The civil servants will always find a way around it. But this majority of it goes. Now, when it does go to the allocated resource, it still doesn't mean that something can't happen to it. But at least that chain has been broken. And then the other thing you talked about, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, why he can't say the truth. The truth of the matter is this. When you are a minister for information, or you are a spokesperson of the president, or you are the corporate affairs manager of an organization, you cannot speak on behalf of yourself. You cannot. That's why the job is very difficult, and you need to think very well how strongly you are about your views before you take on such jobs. You will only speak for the organization on as to what the organization, like Lai Mohammed. Maybe a lot of that speech was not even written by him, that statement, but that's his job. He has to go and sell it to the public. And I like to be clear because, even though I'm most critical of this government, I like to put things in a balance. I think the fact that they handled it in a matured way, you wouldn't expect them to come to the marketplace without anything. You wouldn't expect them not to bring in figures and things like that. That is what, and like I also admitted 2 days ago, it's not as if it's been completely, as if it's a complete write-off. No, but especially that nepotism, the government wouldn't comment on that because within themselves, look, yesterday, Professor Itse Sage, who was the first to defend this government, admitted on television. He admitted on channels yesterday that yes, it is an area they need to look, and I think that is quite remarkable of the learned gentleman. He admitted that yes, he too was a bit uncomfortable when he heard how some appointments were being made. So, what is important? In any case, these are the two elephants, as far as I'm concerned. Obasanjo on one hand, and these other people on the other. We want to make sure that the grass does not suffer when these two elephants are fighting. So now that at least there's some peace between the two of them, you don't worry. If you feel so strongly, you wait. Keep your PVC at hand. When it's time for election, if you're not happy with them, you vote against them. Okay? So we'll take a few more calls and we'll take a break and then we'll talk about waste management. Good morning.
Bros.
Morning, Solomon. How are you?
Long time. I'm fine. Good morning to your guests.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
About the letter and the response. Bros, I've been saying it and I will continue to say it. There's no difference between 6 and half a dozen. I'm telling you, the owner of the letter and the person that they sent the letter to, there's no difference between two of them, as far as I'm concerned. I want you to know, I am from Ogun State.
Okay.
Baba should tell me one single thing that people in Ogun State benefited from him when he was in power. He should tell me one good road that as a president of this country during his own time that he was complete. Do you remember that Lagos Abeokuta Express Road was finished by Jonathan for good 8 years? Papa Obasanjo did not give anything. People in Ogun State, you should tell me one. See, it is very easy to say at the corner of your house and be pointing finger and all that. When he was in power, what did he do? What did he do? As far as I'm concerned, people in Ogun State did not benefit anything from him. And that does not mean that what he is saying in his letter is not right. But all what I want to beg Nigeria, we have been saying it, our PVC is around and all that. Please, I want to beg Nigeria, all these politicians from 1960 till today, I beg, let them go. They don't have anything to offer us. Let it not be 0 plus 0.
Oh, who's going to translate this now? Mr. Mrs. you see what I face every day?
That was an interesting one.
You wanted to say something there about, this Obasanjo statement.
Oh, no.
And the response.
No.
You don't get involved in politics?
No.
Not in any way?
No, not in any way. If I don't like a particular situation,
yes,
I do a write-up, on it. I'm more of a...
Well, tell us the write-up you are doing on this one.
Sometimes if I see that things are not right, or maybe I see somebody being beaten up like a soldier...
What are you doing about this one, this Obasanjo one? Did you read the statement?
Kind of.
What was your feel? What was your gut feeling? Or you couldn't be bothered because he's a Barcelona, you don't like him?
Oh no, it's not that I don't like him. There is an element of truth in what he has said. What he has said, I see most of the positions being aggregated to a particular section of the country. Which section
wrong. Is that? Left
the
or
north,
right?
The north.
The north. Yes. I got a sense that whether Buhari likes it or not, he has to do something about that. Because, and I'm sure Mr. Shedu will agree.
And he doesn't even enjoy good health like that, If you're not feeling fine and you have to spend time, I think you should rest, Nothing, because it's service.
He wants to, it's a service. He wants to, it's a sacrifice. He wants to sacrifice himself.
But you are not even able to really do the sacrifice. Half of the time you are not there. Yeah, you have failing health. I think you should rest.
Okay, all right. Let me take a break, okay? We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right back.
Number 46, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling nice, yeah. Come celebrate. Now we be the boss with them the final. Better play. Cause anything we do, they want to do. Anywhere we go, they want follow. We be the number one for this game now. Number one. Right now I'm on the pausing P. I'm too big, too much, they are watching me. All the fine girls steady cuffing me. As I pause, everything happens suddenly. Overnight they are calling me. I'm a boss, I'm in charge, they follow me. They know if you tell you, say they don't know me. Cause when you join pause, you're on the winning team.
The way we dey take over, it's a coup d'etat. 4-6, not the code. If any crew me what, we on the head. We dey occupy the cyberspace. Yellow dropped up, right into a finer place. With designer frames, I see you like my gaze. You want to chill with us, you look quite amazed.
I'm feeling good, I'm feeling
Everywhere
nice.
you go, MTN.
We MTN don't they paint everywhere yellow, so then we paint cow and water yellow. That time myself now only call and text messages a day. Now uncle, we don't ready to make your life even better with our new MTN Nyafu SIM. We carry plenty better inside. This one now be better when you go they collect more small like a contribution. This one now see the hot. Just buy MTN Nyafu SIM. Load 100 naira before you open your eye. Close up 800 naira. Don't sit down. They wait for you inside your phone. I no carry water for mouth. Load 100 naira and 800 naira don't be your phone. Make you take a call any network and browse as you like. The one way cost with mobile person. I say anytime when you load credit, don't open. Make you begin use WhatsApp for free without any money. So therefore, you fit to begin to send that picture to Nkechi or that video to Sandra anywhere with them day. What do you wait for? Carry waka go buy your new MTN SIM. Make you begin enjoy Nyafu.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into your preferred radio station right now in Lagos, Nigeria. And I got to tell you this, that MTN and Arsenal have teamed up for something so huge you would not believe it. Now, have you heard about the MTN Nigeria Arsenal Top 11 team? It's Nigeria's original Pepper Dem Gang, an elite team of Nigeria's most passionate Arsenal fans on the MTN Nigeria network who will speak exclusively with members of the Arsenal team. And I'm talking about people like Danny Welbeck, players like Per Mertesacker, would have been Theo Walcott, but now is gone to Everton on a transfer. So yes, this will be happening live and direct on Wednesday, the 31st of January. So it is likely they will be replacing Theo Walcott with another player from Arsenal, because he's gone to Everton Football Club as you people know it. So join the squad. All you have to do is text ARS or ARSC to 700 at 50 naira per week to get exclusive premium Arsenal video content. Now MTN will choose 11 lucky Arsenal fans. That's a football team, right? 11 lucky Arsenal fans from people that subscribed to these services as MTN Nigeria Arsenal Top 11 team. And they'll also be getting that chance to speak to 3 members of the Arsenal first team live and direct on the 31st of January. That's Wednesday, the 31st of January to be precise. So hurry, people, hurry right now and text ARS or ARSC to 700 now. That's 700 now to stand a chance to speak with your favorite Arsenal players. Opportunity opens till Friday, the 26th of January, Winners will be announced on Saturday, the 27th of January. And you can also stay subscribed to the video services to win more exclusive MTN and Arsenal prizes. So if you're a gunner and you want to speak to some of your top players, I did tell you that Theo Walcott is no more an Arsenal player. Is right there in Everton at Goodison Park as we speak. So I'm definitely sure he will be replacing Theo Walcott with another Arsenal player. And you know Danny Welbeck is part of the squad, and as well as Pearl Mertesacker, the Arsenal skipper. So there you have it. Do participate, like I did say. Remember, it is very simple. Hurry and text ARS or ARSC to 700 now and stand a chance to speak with your favorite Arsenal players. My time is done. Stay tuned.
Dissecting the major news stories daily. This is the Morning Digest with Jimi Disu.
Welcome back to Morning Digest with Jimi Disu on Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. Now we're going to swing straight into this this Lagos waste crisis, management crisis that we have. I don't know. Do you think it is abating the refuse in the town from your own reckoning? Because I'm sure you would have a better perspective than I probably would have. Do you think the crisis at least is abating? That's refuse all over town.
I could see the state government making spirited efforts to do a mop-up of the indiscriminate dumping on the highways and the median. But there should be a basic principle behind whatever government is doing. Because if government goes into the space, into the public space, and tell operators not to do domestic collection of waste. And at the same time, the government is arresting cart pushers. And at the same time, Visionscape does not have the trucks. Their trucks are not here. So what will happen to residents, and where are they expected to put out the waste? Something has to give somewhere.
Okay, now let me tell you what I think I know as of last week.
Okay.
Last week I had the Commissioner for Information on my program.
Okay.
And what he said was that the government had reached some form of agreement with the PSP operators, virtually saying that they should go back to status quo. And that the PSP operators were never told outright that their services will not be needed. That the PSP operators just reacted to their own announcement, but that they'd reached an agreement with PSP operators, and that the PSP operators should now go back to what we had in the past in the meantime. You're a PSP operator, so you should know. Is that what has happened?
Well, I'm not privy to that information. Like I said, the problem generally is when you don't have stakeholders engagement, because you have to talk to me directly. Most of the things we hear is on the pages of the newspapers or like a form of reporting on radio. If you want me to react to a particular information, it has to be downloaded to me either by written statements or physical engagement. But if I have to be listening here and there to what is going on, then I might not act in the...
Are you saying that the government, as we are sitting down here, has not engaged the PSP operators?
I believe so.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, our association is kind of talking to them, but I don't understand the level of talk, because when you have a stakeholders engagement and it's only the government that is talking, then you don't have a stakeholders engagement.
No, wait. I'd like us to be clear.
Yes.
Is your association involved in any discussion with the government at all?
Yes.
Now, are they not doing it on your behalf?
Yes.
So why I don't understand when you then say that they have not engaged you. I don't understand that part.
For instance, if the association is talking to government and there is nothing coming out of the talk, that's the issue.
Or is it that the association itself is not engaging its members in what they have agreed with government?
No.
Okay, let me go again back to the bottom.
Yes.
And we'll go from, let's do bottoms up.
Yes.
Your association represents all PSP operators.
Certainly.
Good. Do you have regular engagements with them?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, the last engagement you had with your association, what did they say the position was?
The position is they're still meeting with government. They're rubbing minds. The government is insisting that Visionscape will do domestic waste, domestic house-to-house collection of residential waste.
Okay.
And they will concede the commercial waste to PSP operators. And our argument has always been we are primarily 100% domestic collectors, and meaning that the average operator basically collects residential waste house to house. So if you take all that from the 350 people and you leave a section which is just the commercial, for the kind of investment that we have, we might not really have enough job to do. And we are looking at the fact that Visionscape, like they want to do landfill, waste to energy plants, they can go ahead and do all that.
Okay.
Because that's big business. The average cost of having a waste to energy plant will probably be in millions and millions of dollars. So if they have those kind of investment, they can do that. But the average operator already have competencies in door-to-door collection. So we can go ahead and continue to do that. But I hear government will not...
they will not yield on that.
They will not yield on that.
Okay. So, but the commissioner said specifically that in the interim, that the PSP, that by this week, the PSP operators will be back to status quo, meaning they'll be picking up the refuse like they used to do.
Yeah, some of us...
Okay, you have your own company. Are you in operation?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, you're in operation?
Oh, yeah.
Were you ever knocked off before?
Oh, it's a little bit difficult to just knock me off like that.
No, it's difficult to knock off any woman, talk less of you. And you're a Lagos woman, so it's not that easy. But that was a joke. but where I'm going is, are you still involved in domestic waste operation?
Yeah, let me make something clear to you.
Very good.
Some of us have lots of trucks, and some have, small 1, 2, 3 trucks. Now, when we heard from the press that government is going to disengage us, reassign our operation, some left the business, or some, kept their operations at the skeletal level. But some of us that have 10, 15 trucks, there's nowhere to live because you can't use the trucks to carry sand or tomatoes or whatever. And if your customers are still patronizing you and they are paying and everything is good, there is no need for you to stop unless the government physically comes there and hold your hand and say stop. Because the waste management business is not just we employing people and cutting away refuse from door to door. We contribute to other ancillary businesses. For instance, the office, the landlord, we rented the place, the community people, we have mechanics, that fix the trucks in the neighborhood. Even our staff, they buy food from the neighborhood, vulcanizers, rewires, electricians. So it goes beyond the physical staff that you have. We look at other affinity programs, the people that we buy tires from, we are not big like Visionscape, and that's why we said nobody is really against Visionscape. What we want is for them to do all these big technological waste processing, diversionary strategies, and that way it has its own advantage. We'll be able to save on the methane that is likely to emanate from the landfill. Once we have the waste to energy plants, we can also have electricity being generated, we have electricity deficit that will be pretty decent.
Okay.
We will also be saving land in terms of the landfill, because no waste will be heading for the landfill. They will be heading for the combustion chambers, where you are going to use the steam, for the turbine generators to finally generate electricity. So they can do all those big stuff.
Okay.
But to struggle with us in terms of buying trucks and collecting, I think that's rather base and unnecessary.
Well, the part of the argument of the government, if I'm not wrong, was that the what they're giving Visionscape was an all-round job to do. That includes sweeping the streets, picking up the refuse, processing it, and so on and so forth. That is a total package. But do we
really need a total package when we have 350 small scale businesses existing, paying taxes to government? The certification exercise itself has a mandatory requirement of you paying personal tax, company tax, staff tax, and all that. So what's the need for that?
Well, they also put up an argument that Visionscape would incorporate all previous operators. That's what they said.
Yeah, that's what they said.
I'm talking now in terms of staff. They're talking about staff and so on.
Why disengagement by substitution? Why do that? We already have staff. There are sweepers in Lagos. Everybody. So if you disengage our staff and then you re-engage them, what you have simply done is to recruit for Visionscape, because without stopping us, they will probably not get the necessary staffing requirements that they need. Some of us made sure that our drivers are trained, and and we also made sure that these drivers, we have all sorts of retention packages for them. We give them accommodation just to make sure that they start work in a timely manner, because sometimes for scarcity, rain, they might not show up for work.
Yeah.
So we've done substantial investment.
Okay, but that's valid. I mean, what you have said is valid. The question to ask now is, luckily you are still in operation.
Yeah.
Some of your colleagues, have they been completely knocked out now?
Well, if you place Visionscape bins in their operational zones, and you are collecting there, I don't know what you are asking them to do.
And you're asking people not to pay. And
if you are distributing bills in operators' existing operational zones, I don't know how they're going to collect their monies.
No, you see what their argument.
Yes.
I'm not holding brief for them.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Their argument is that that what you do is pay a utility charge when you're paying your land use charge, and it's from that charge that they will be able to fund the activities of Visionscape.
Yeah, okay. But you look at it. I heard so many times that Visionscape is so generous. They love Lagos so much. They're bringing in their money to clean up Lagos. That's what we heard. That it's at no cost to government. Visionscape loves us so much. So if they are coming in with their free money...
No, nobody... What I heard...
That was what was in the papers.
I heard that too, but as at last Sunday, when the Commissioner of Information was in the studio, he said that the government and Visionscape combined will collect all these levies, and then it goes straight to them.
Why can't the government support existing operators?
No, in fact, let me quickly add that they had also said that part of the problem that the PSP operators had was that people were not paying.
That is absolutely incorrect.
Really?
Yes, it's a function of service.
So you tell me, in your own area of operations, people were paying as and when due.
And I also put it in the report, in my evacuation management report to government, that my clients do pay. Like so many other... Let me tell you the challenge that we have. The landfill, for a lot of operators, the landfill, when you go to dump, you spend sometimes 48 hours there.
Trying to offload refuse.
Trying to dispose of the refuse.
The landfills are what we would call dump sites.
Yeah, it's actually a dump site because there is nothing there. There is no infrastructure there. They just collect toll, and then you go in. If your truck is able to climb on the trash there is no light there. Once you get there, anytime after 5 or 6, then you're unable to dump. So it's actually a dump site and is listed by ISWA as one of the most dangerous 50 dump sites in the world. It's an accident. Listen, it's an accident waiting to happen. I read the ISWA report.
What is ISWA, please?
International Solid Waste Association. The ISWA report on Olusosun landfill. That landfill is due for closure since 2012. If it doesn't close, like it happened in the Koshe landfill and in Ethiopia, what will happen is that it might sink and it might consume, like in Ethiopia, it consumed 114 people. It just took them in. In Philippines, yes. In Philippines, it took in 500 people.
At a go?
Yes. You see, when there is activity in the waste and it rots and it decays, at some point, it will either give out fires. That's why you see all this smoke. There is, or collapse. Wow. And when it collapses, it's going to take away everything that is within the vicinity. That is why we are routing for Visionscape to please fix the dump site for us. For the state government to please fix the dump site. When we have the dump site, you see, the fact that you collect recyclables does not mean that you can reprocess it, because there might be contaminants in it. We have our waste is commingled. Everything is together. So if you want to collect plastics, for instance, and you need to process it, maybe you need to wash it. Where is the water? In Lagos, people hardly even have water to drink, not to talk of water washing the plastics. But there are other things that you can use the plastic waste for. You can use it in doing paving stones. There are composting toilets. There are so many diversionary strategies, and there are so many reuse and repurposing strategies that government can engage in. But honestly, what we need from Visionscape is sanitary engineered landfill.
Okay, let me take this call. Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Ape Isaiah. I'm calling from Ajegule.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you, madam. Good morning, also.
Good morning, sir.
Please, you guys are doing a very great job over there.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to contribute a little bit about this issue of.
Go on.
It is so funny. It is so funny that the Lagos State government today have seen PSP to be a body that they think they can just dispose of like a refuse. Also, it is very, very painful. For the past 5 years that I know myself, PSP has been doing a lot of great job, especially here in Ajegule, because you need to see. There's one recent dump site as of the wharf here that they used to dump refuse of systems. You need to see what these guys are doing every day. They work every day and night, just to make sure that they clear the city. But the government doesn't see this the way they are. Now they are being one people, I don't know their names, calling them one certain name and telling us that they want to, invest in Lagos State. They love Lagos State so much that they want to start using refuse to one thing or the other. It's like they don't know that people knew that this thing they are not new thing to Nigerians. In other countries, we know how they manage waste. Today they are telling us that they are going to combust waste. They are going to use it to generate. It has been happening for a very long period of time. People know how to use waste to generate electricity. And even if I'm in position to speak, I will tell them that it is better for them to even gather this waste and generate electricity where they will make their money very well than even coming to PSP. People that are sourcing the refuse from local doors to them. They should leave the PSP alone to do their job. Come to Malu Road, Obi Road. Come and see what is happening on the street. Come to Bandri here. You'll see. Refugees are all over everywhere, scattered everywhere. People are stepping on refugees, going to the office in the morning, stepping on refugees, coming back from the office. You see, everywhere is just so disgusting.
All right,
Please,
thank you.
People need to stop the government. Okay?
Thank you very much. All right. Let me just take one more caller, then we'll continue. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Oshodi.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Kelvin. Uncle Jimmy, before I talk about the waste, let me disagree with you openly.
You have to speak up so we can hear you.
I said before I talk about the waste,
yes,
let me disagree with you openly about your friend Lai Mohammed. I've always argued this with you. I don't believe that because you work with the government, you should not say the truth. I've never believed that. You must not be a water of Fanagoro or a Jerry Ghana or a Minnesota in peace or a Chikumedije because you are working for the government. We have a Dora Kuili. May God bless her soul.
Amen.
Who saw a cabal ahead the country to ransom? And the woman came out openly. She was a minister of information. I said, there's a cabal holding this country to ransom. I will not be part of it. She associated herself from that. So, if you are saying you're working for the government because you're working for the government, you will not say the truth. It defies logic. What are we talking about? Thanks for that. Let me not distract the attention.
I'm going to reply you.
Answer you.
I'll let you answer again, but go on to your second.
The issue of this waste, I've said it before because they told us, they have threatened us now that they will get us arrested if we use the cat pushers. I've had even the PS people, they don't come regularly. They come once in a while. Before they come, the whole place is littered already. We are even complaining about their delays of coming. Now the cat pushers come every morning, very early in the morning to take away the waste. And they are telling us that I saw in the news that they arrested about 40 or more. They even arrested some yesterday. And they are threatening us that if we use them, they will arrest us. I'm not scared of arrest. I'm a Kalakuta man. I've been arrested several times. I've been dead to several times. But this is because the government. There's nothing new about arrest. I'm ready for arrest. So I've told them that I will use the cat pushers because I've not seen them around. The new people we are talking about here. I've never seen them anywhere since they said they came on board. I've not seen them. I have 2 homes in Surrey here. I've not seen them anywhere. And I have kids at home. My waist is, before 2 days, it's full up because of my kids. I have newborn babies at home. Everything waits every now and then. So I'm waiting for some people that I've not seen. How long will I wait for them? Everyone will before they come. So I'm telling them that I'm ready for the arrest. I will use the cat pushers until they are ready to do the good job. They come and arrest me. I'm waiting.
All right. Thank you. Once again, I maintain that if you are a minister for information or you are a public relations person, when you represent that organization, you have to put your personal opinion aside. You have 2 options. If you don't like that position, you can leave the job. But we are not. I'm not looking at Lai Mohammed as an individual now because he's completely irrelevant as an individual. We are looking at the government position. Okay, and in the case of Dora Kunyili, that was really and truly a crisis point. I want to explain to people, and I'm going to repeat this over and over again. It was the same argument I put up for Ruben Abati when people expected that as Jonathan's spokesperson, he'll be saying all the things he was saying when he was a writer. Those 2 roles are different. You cannot expect somebody who is a spokesperson of a government to be critical of that government. It doesn't work like that. And this is my area of. I've been a public relations person before. I headed the Lever Brothers PR section, 87 or 88. So I know what I'm talking. I've been consultant to so many companies. The truth is, if you want to take public office in these circumstances, you have to ask yourself: does my thinking align with the thinking of these people? Will my opinion be respected? Okay, but you cannot, as an employee, say something contrary to what your organization believes in. That's not why you are paid.
Maybe.
You understand?
Yeah, but I beg to differ a little bit.
Okay, I'd like to have an argument with you on that.
Yeah, I beg to differ because if I think the government is not doing the right things, I'm going to put pen to paper and tell them that.
You can't do that if you are the Minister of Information.
Yeah, you don't have to be the but what I actually wanted to say is that maybe the government officials that are listening to this, they understand the challenges of their staff, so they should be more liberal and more accommodating. And
we are talking in terms of what Kelvin said. I'm reacting to what Kelvin said.
Yeah.
When he was talking about Lai Mohammed.
Yes, that he's a government official. Maybe if Buhari makes him a little bit comfortable telling truth to power, you know, then maybe they will be comfortable enough to tell them.
See, Mrs. Oshodi.
Yes.
The way these things work, they don't work like that. And that is why I can now confess to you, that is why some of us would not go into public office.
Yeah, same with me.
But you cannot eat your cake and have it.
No.
That's my argument. Mr. Oshodi, do you agree with me?
I do not agree with you totally.
No, wait.
I am of the school of thought that you should be able to iron out, have a policy. An administration, you have a policy, and you be seen to work towards it. You
agree with me by what you just said?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem as if it doesn't seem as if they have a line of operations. No,
I'm talking
that on so many occasions.
Yes.
Some minister will be saying something, somebody in the presidency will be saying some other thing, and some other person somewhere, some group managing director is saying some other thing. Look at the DSS issue on.
No. I don't want us to derail from what we were talking about. He was my friend Kelvin, who we have now disagreed. Two of us Kalakuta people. He was trying to say that he expected Lai Mohammed to come and say something different from what he had said, and I said no. As the Minister for Information, he will always come out with the government position. If he doesn't agree with it,
then he
has to leave the job.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we agreed.
Yes.
Simple. I'm not saying I agree with what he said or whatever, but what I'm saying is he thought that, he believes that even as a Minister of Information, he can still come out and be critical of the mouth. He can't. You can't eat your cake and have it.
He can't.
Okay. 10 o'clock, another commercial. I have to obey this law. I have to take a commercial. So we'll take a commercial, and then I'm going to play for my Lagos people, Sonny Ade Motimo.
Awesome.
You know? So I know awesome. I picked that song on purpose. So we'll take a short commercial break. We'll take that song, and when we come back, we'll conclude on this issue of waste management. We'll still take some of your calls, so don't go away.
Lagos Pride.
My name is Kemi Adeniji Adele, and I am a proud Lagosian.
Lagos people.
Just like we are working now.
I know that it's better now. People are not as much as
Lagos Talks.
He doesn't have the right people training him. And that puts a big question mark on that institution.
On 91.3.
Controller go show data. Who be your guy today?
Keziah, which size of that Ajebo video you won't watch? Big or small? Oh yeah, choose Angie.
Yes.
Now Emanuela video you want download?
Yes, now.
Any size you want. Oh yeah, choose
Controller.
J Baba, you dey fear that officer Titus video size? Baba, you dey dog. Waiting be my name.
Controller.
Oh yeah, choose
Hey.
You say be data oga with the new YouTube Go app. Choose video size before you watch them. Download YouTube Go app, make you take control.
Controller go show data. Who be your guy today?
Vane. You know the play that how to cook banga video if you know sure say you won't watch it. Take check am before you watch am.
Controller.
Guy, now all that highlight video you dey play, no need again, Joe. Take, check am before you watch am. Bam.
Control.
See your head tie. You never find better how to tie gele video, abi? Call my name.
Controller.
Take, check am before you watch am.
You set be data oga with new YouTube Go app. Torchlight videos before you watch them. Download the new YouTube Go app. Make you take control.
Contessa wishes all our esteemed customers a happy new year. Guess what? There's a massive New Year sales discount of up to 70% going on in all our stores. It's huge and no one is left out, with great deals on men's shirts and shoes, ladies' bags, shoes, dresses, and shirts. The kids aren't left out as well, with our special back-to-school promo with school shoes selling for 10,000 Naira flat and school bags for 5,000 Naira flat too. Amazing, right? Hurry on down to any of our stores nationwide. Visit us today at number 13 Agoro Dion Street off Adeola Odeku, Victoria Island, and 60 Allen Avenue Street, Ikeja. Or you can call 0704-446-7992 or 0704-446-7993. With Contessa, your family slays.
Controller go show data. Who be your guy today?
You still don't talk that photography P? I get this video tutorial where I download for you. Oh yeah, take Kem.
Controller.
Why your contour no contour well now? You don't lose touch. I download one I am Dodo's video. Oh yeah, take am.
Controller.
Marco sticker mark. You don't see goal of the month video. My guy, you too slow. Wait till be my name.
Controller.
Oh yeah, take am.
Ah, sugar. You safety be data oga. Get the new YouTube Go app. Sharply download, share and receive video anyhow. Download the YouTube Go app today. Make you self take control.
Lagos has many voices, and everyone wants to connect. But there's only one station that lets you join the conversation. Lagos Talks 91.3. Let's get talking. Dissecting the major news stories daily. This is the Morning Digest with Jimi Disu. Major news stories daily. This is the Morning Digest with Jimi Disu.
Welcome back to Morning Digest with Jimi Disu on Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. Off air again, we continue the argument that Kelvin has put in place. I'll subject him to a debate one of these days. Ask Kelvin. Right. Let me read some of the tweets that we have here. There's a gentleman here called Lord Dare Big D, and he says that you're an elderly man, that's me, with brilliant ideas and well connected to people in power. On this issue of refuse, why can't you get a few elders like yourself and go and meet with the governor and let him know these ideas? You've said enough. Well, I don't know if I'm an elder, but the truth is I think all that needs to be said, I have said, and I know they listen to my program, so I'm not going to get anything new by having to go to meet the governor and talk to him specifically. Yaya Ibrahim Tolul says that I believe the Visionscape and PSP ought to work together for now and slowly be disengaged, whatever the case. Why would he want them to be disengaged? Okay. Just Jay says that Jimi Disu, I think there's a compromise in the argument that it is clear you're a Lai Mohammed supporter. I'm not a Lai Mohammed supporter. Lai Mohammed is my friend. He's not my childhood friend. We got to know each other on the professional level way back when he was in NA and I'm in the Punch. And I was in the Punch. And so, but he's my friend still. And, well, if you say I'm a supporter, the irony is that he doesn't think so. He doesn't think so at all. But in this job, these things do happen. Aderemi Amo says that we cannot continue hearing that foreign reserves increases without benefiting from it. What is the money for? When another government comes in now, they will then say there's no money. So what does he want? He wants all the foreign reserves given to him. He wants it shared, Abi? There's this sheriff says that even with the presence of the sanitation boss at Otto, and he has some photographs there, they're not looking good at all. Just see the heap of dirt. And this is the same almost everywhere in Lagos. So what's the essence of the new Cleaner Lagos initiative? Oh, okay. I won't read that one. There's some that I can't read. Shegun Lushakin says that Lagos got it wrong with the waste policy.
Definitely.
And he says Buhari is a very good man, but his ethnic bias is his undoing. Mm-hmm. He also needs to carry the citizens along his programs and regular media chats. That's one problem with Buhari. He doesn't communicate with anybody.
Oh.
I put it bluntly yesterday that, look, this country has almost about 200 million shareholders. You just happen to be the chairman of the corporation. You have to talk to us. We own the country.
Abi.
Yeah, so that is also. I found this quite funny, very very funny. This is a tweet, and it says that this is the tweet retweeted by Shegun, and he says here, listen to this, Mr. Mr. He said, "You have 1,000 naira. You are left with 1,000 naira to manage. Your predecessor gives 1,000 naira. The 1,000 naira drops to 100 naira under you, and from 1,000 drops to 100 naira. And you borrow 2,000 naira to stay afloat. You come back and then come and tell us that you have done well because you now have 2,100 naira from 100 naira." And he says that is an example of Buharinomics.
Oh, wow.
Yes, all kinds of reactions. Sorry?
I think we that's what baffles me. We don't seem to be. We shouldn't believe everything we hear or everything we read.
You mean those figures?
Figures or otherwise, or information. That's why we have to listen to the likes of Lai Mohammed to tell us the facts of the matter, not what he thinks he wants to be heard by his boss.
No, he has given you the facts. He gave facts and he gave figures.
What I'm saying,
but you might not agree with the figures. I mean that is legitimate. But he has given you the facts.
Yeah, well, okay. Talk about how much it has been recovered from looted funds or from wherever. If you had gotten so much as 1 trillion or 2 billion, and you still go outside of the Nigeria to go and borrow another 1 billion, what's going on?
You worked in the banking sector.
Yes.
And I wish I had a lawyer in the house Now, this is the way it has been. This is the way I think it has been explained to me, and I might be wrong. Like I usually say, I'm not always right. I might be wrong. Now, funds that are gotten from suspects, because as we speak, I doubt if anybody has actually been declared guilty. All you keep hearing is that this money has been taken back, put in custody. I hear that such monies cannot be touched until the termination of the cases. You worked in a bank, so you probably would. I mean, if for example, I have a problem with the bank, and the bank has held on to my 10 million. The bank itself cannot touch that money.
That being the case, if that is the fact of the matter, then Mr. Lai Mohammed should not be telling us that they've recovered so much, and that is part of the achievement. That has not become an achievement until the law court.
It says that
finally that such money has actually come under the covers of the government.
Yes, I agree with that. So because what you have
claiming that as an achievement,
what you have is what you will call an interim recovery. Yes, because sometimes at the end of the case, the government can lift that, can say that sorry, no,
all penalties don't come to a goal.
I'm sure you're a footballer.
Of course, you bet. Growing up in Lagos, even if it's to play set.
but some of the things that would, Mr. Shodi, that would make you sad is that there is nowhere for our youth to play, no place, no space at all for our youth to play. And guess what? I drove past CMS yesterday and discovered that the public library. You know the public library at CMS?
Yeah, CMS across from
the government has taken it over and turned it into one agency. I don't know where the public library is anymore.
How about this, Aregongo? Look at the massive building put in that corner. Peace.
And you know, my take on the public library is in Turkey, Ankara.
Yes.
What you have is books meant to be disposed of were used to consolidate a public library. Waste diversionary strategy.
Come again. if there's any books to be disposed of, they take it to the library.
Yes. So that's a diversionary strategy for the Turkish government on waste management.
I honestly don't understand whatever argument anybody would give me for disposing of the central library. I don't know whether it's been taken somewhere else or we don't even have a central library at all, because the position he was in is so strategic for the island.
Yes.
But then,
one is opposite the major bookshop, and
house.
the book, you know that Odunlami area.
Yes,
you have booksellers all through that place.
It's become.
I don't know what was the thinking behind.
Well, is it the central? I'm not too sure now. Is it the state government library, public library, or the federal government?
No, it was
the federal government.
Yes,
run. Then they probably
were
tired of.
It was state government run. The agency there anyway is a Lagos State agency. It's a Lagos State agency for forensic.
They take over buildings now. They take over spaces now, formerly run by the federal government. So has to.
The library, the central library, Lagos, was run by the state, either state or local government. The federal government library is in Yaba. You know, you know the one on Abad Macaulay.
Yes, I do.
That used to be British Council Library. No, the St. Agnes one is Lagos Mainland local government. The National Library, which used to be British Council Library.
I know where it is.
You must have read there.
You know, I use the libraries a lot.
Yes. I used to prepare for my advanced A-levels. When I was.
For 5 years when I was in the Methodist Boys High School, I used that central library.
That's right.
You'd close our school at 2:00.
That's right.
You are day students and you go to the library, then you go home in the evening. It's one of those sad things that happens.
Indeed.
And it can be. So, okay, now back to this waste thing before we forget. In total, Mrs. Oshodi, do you see the approach of the state government to this waste disposal? Do you see it as workable, or would they have to tinker with it or discard it totally?
Well, for me, they definitely have to tinker with it.
Okay.
There is, we have our strategies when it comes to waste management. That's why I keep on telling people waste is science. You have to, first of all, take care of the planet, then the people before the profit. If you alter that line of thinking, then you're going to have a shutdown. No matter how rich the state government is, I'm going to refer to Morocco, where the World Bank spent $271 million for waste management. And you know what? The foreign companies that they brought there, they left. When I went for the Israel World Congress in Boston last year, I met one of the foreign companies that was working there, and I engaged him on how PSP locally can, collaborate with them. And as the excuse being given everywhere is operational difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
In Cairo, they took in four foreign companies. They ran away.
Do you think this landscape would run away?
Definitely, if they don't put in the local content. I stand to be quoted.
You think they might not succeed?
If they don't...
You mean if they don't collaborate with the PSP operators?
Not necessarily all the stakeholders, the citizen, I'm not talking for the operators alone.
I know.
Because, it's a commingling of actors on the scene.
Okay, before I forget, do you think the cat pushers have any... Because listen to what Kelvin said.
Yeah.
It's very, very important. It's very, very important. And he's in an urban area. He's in Sulere.
Unfortunately, these are some of the issues in Brazil. What the state government did was all these street people, all these informal recoverers, made them into cooperatives, gave them a whole building, and they gave them trucks. What we have in Nigeria is not different from what happens even in some foreign countries. But what do? They help them. It's a social inclusion program. You must have a pro-poor policy. Sometimes in some countries that we have visited, some of the residents don't even have money to pay for waste management services. So the government has to look for sustainable programs to help them process or manage their waste. Because when we looked at it that, okay, if you don't have money, does it mean that you cannot dispose of waste? So we worked around that, and that's why certain things started coming up from that, like crocheting of plastics. They use crochet to make plastic bags, and do floor tiles and do soap. I mean, a whole lot of things. Briquettes, like coal briquettes, like they use for suya stuff.
So what you're saying? Sorry, I seem to be putting you under pressure because of time.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that the cat pushers really and truly should be incorporated into the system. You can have a central place for them to deposit, and then you evacuate.
Something has to give, because it's a social issue. In other places, they even have a scholarship. ISWA has a scholarship program for them.
Wow.
So the most important thing is government has to take care of everybody, high, low, medium. Governance is service, is not profiting. Or when you come into solid waste management, you cannot think of profit. Although we all came there initially thinking of profit, but when you get into it, then you become really sensitive to the...
But it's also been nice to make profit anyway.
Yeah, there is not... But you look at it. When you don't have responsible disposal, for instance, like burning of waste, you have dioxins that are highly toxic. They leach on to the plants, and then we eat, or let me say the rams and goats, they eat it, and all these dioxins get deposited into their fatty tissues. And some of us that like suya with a little bit of fat, we ingest it.
Tozo.
Yes. And then we have some other particulate matters that we can ingest. We have asthma. All sorts of issues come up with irresponsible disposal of waste. That's why I was emphasizing the fact that government has to do a lot of education and sensitization to let people know why they have to dispose of their waste properly, and they must also have the right infrastructure to support the proper disposal of this waste.
Okay, let me take just one or two last calls. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning, sir.
My name is Shegun calling from Ikeja.
Oh, Shegun, how are you?
I'm very good, sir. I was trying to speak to you.
I've been thinking of you. Thursday call. Can you join us on Thursday?
Thursday, sir. Okay, I'll get back. I'll take my diary and get back to you.
Get back to me. Okay, fine. So how are you?
Yes, I'm very good. A quick one. I want to say good morning to the gentleman and lady in the studio. I thank you so much, and I say that I am indeed proud of you as a Lagosian, as a Nigerian.
Thank you, sir.
I've listened to you this morning, and I see the competence you have developed in course of doing this job. And to my mind, when you talk about production, business generally, the most important single resource is the human resource, and that you have built your competence in abundance. I think it's ill-advised for the government to throw this away overnight. Imagine how many PSP operators have been able to build all this through their practical hands-on experience. For example, the conference you spoke about, I guess you are not sponsored by the government, were you?
No, sir.
Exactly. You have invested your time and energy. So to my mind, we don't throw away the baby and the bathwater. Lagos is dirty as we speak. It is all over social media. A listening government should do the needful. Yes, you don't rub it out to people. Do the right thing. Carry these people along and let's have a workable Lagos. Uncle Jimmy, can I put a comment on the issue you mentioned about the recovered money, sir?
Yes.
I think that the government should come out to be very forthright with us. It's not as cast as iron as they are making it seem.
Okay.
Now, when somebody willingly submits money to you, you cannot tell us that money is not usable. I have had this with I have to do with EFCC. When this person who has stolen money would willingly return the money, and the money is handed over to you, and the case comes to an end, even though it's released to you on bond, that's the technical language, but effectively you have the money back to you. It happens every now and then. It's only when the person is putting up a brave fight, contesting those monies, that is when you can say, oh, we can't touch this money pending when this issue is resolved. But when somebody admits guilt, there's no issue with that.
But can I also add that you know that any money spent by government also again has to be appropriated?
I agree, absolutely.
Yes.
I agree, but in the lifespan of this government, we've had a couple of budgets, sir.
You can say that again. You can say that again.
A couple of budgets, so it could have been appropriated for the incoming budget. So
no, the Vice President of Shibaju actually said, to be fair to him, that part of the income they're expecting is from recovered funds.
Exactly. So we should make that distinction, sir.
Okay.
Make that distinction.
Thank you. So I look forward to hearing from you pretty soon.
Oh, all right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me take my last caller and then we're all out of here. Morning.
Oh
yeah, down. We have just 2 minutes.
I want to agree with your guest over there.
Okay.
Lagos State government, this present government, to me, I will not say maybe they are plan to fail, because let me tell you one thing, I know about waste management since Marwa. And I'm keen to it. Tinubu started it well, and Fashion consolidate on it. And this might just start afresh. It's like you are go back to Marwa time. PSP make a lot of efforts to support cleaning Lagos. Okay. But this government just go with that way. I believe this region scale. Let me see. I just give them just 6 months. I want to see how they go to make it. Let me just stop there because they have more time. But this cleaner initiative, to me, Uncle Jimmy is a noise maker. Honestly. Thank you.
All right. And it's on that note that we'll call it today. Thank you very much, Mrs. Dara.
Thank you. I want the state government to give us all the support as PSP operators.
Yes.
Even 50% of what they've given to Visionscape will do for the PSP operators.
But they sometimes claim that you're spoiled. That's what they said.
No, that's
they keep claiming that they subsidized you in the past.
No.
That's what they said.
No. That is not true. That is not correct. We have different levels of businesses, franchise model, contracting model, mixed contracting. So for whatever they have, when we're asking for support, we're not asking for money.
We're
asking for telling the public to patronize PSP operators, compliance level, fixing of dump site, ensuring there is lights there, making the roads more motorable and accessible. You know, we're not asking for money.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
It's an ongoing thing. Hopefully we'll resolve it at some point.
Yeah.
The only part that hurts me is that what was going on in the past seemed to me to be working quite well.
It is working.
So I am at a loss as to why, if
what
something
they should
is
have
working,
done to better the what
yes,
has been
it's
in
just to improve on
was
it.
to look
and
at the
improve on
link,
it.
the chain link, and
If
strengthen
people don't have the
weak.
capacity, you give them the capacity. This is a government. This is service. It's not about you or your personal interest or what you are interested in as an individual or as a person. It is service.
Do you think there's some personal interest in it?
I wouldn't know.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Mr. and Mrs. Jodi, thank you very much.
So very much.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you. Like I honestly said, my last remark is that, look, is there a way we can go back to status quo? You know, let's just go back to what was working. I think Lagosians would have had quite enough about explanations every day about why the state is dirty.
Excuses.
And what actually worries me the more is the health implication.
Yes. I was going to tell you the purpose of solid waste management in the first place.
Yes.
Organized solid waste came about as a result of public health. Epidemic of unimaginable proportions.
Yes,
Look at the Black Plague and the bubonic plague. Over 70 million people died.
We don't want 17 million people to die in Lagos. With that kind of... okay, so we have to be out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Remember that tomorrow Johnny Willomo is coming. So if you have any estate issues, but package it very well, because I'm only going to give 1 minute to everybody. You know, I'm not going to take any long stories. Just package it well, and he'll try and see how best he can advise you. Also, I have Maureen coming tomorrow. The poet will also be here tomorrow. And remember that on Sunday, Classic FM, the discourse this Sunday is going to pay tribute to our own Ray Mike Nwachukwu, who I hear is going to be buried tomorrow. So that's what we have in store for you. Thank you very much, Fisherman. Thank God the waters are not polluted yet. Okay, so thank you very much again, Mr. and Mr. Jodi. That's where we'll end for today. I hope to see you, God willing, tomorrow, same time.